All right. Welcome,
Okay.
welcome, welcome, welcome. Can everybody hear? Can everybody hear? Yes, wonderful, wonderful. If you would slide on over to the chat box and let us know who you are, and if you're here, that would be great. Say hello. Um, Welcome to Zenful Conversations. You can find us every single day having conversations in a private Facebook group for women. We are in our fourth year. For more information on this group and all of our many Zoom offerings, please visit zenfulconversations.com. My name is Zen Brown. I'm your host today, and we are here today with our guest speaker, zooming in with us all the way from Budapest, Hungary, international best-selling author and all-around great guy, Marc Reklau. Marc
Hello.
Reklau. Marc, you inspire me. You
Oh,
inspire me. Thank you so very much for being with us today.
it's a pleasure. Pleasure to
Great,
be with
great.
you.
Wonderful. A little bit about Marc. Let me give a little bit about Marc. Marc is the author of 13 books, including international bestsellers 30 Days, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life, Love Yourself First, and How to Become a People Magnet. His books have reached more than 1 million readers and have been translated in more than 15 languages, including Spanish, German, Japanese, Thai, Indonesian, Chinese, Portuguese, Russian, and Korean. He wrote the book in 2014 after being fired from his job and literally went from jobless to bestseller, which is the title of his second book. Marc's mission is to empower people to create the life they want and give them the resources and tools to make that happen. He writes about habits, productivity, and happiness. His message is simple. Many people want to change things in their lives, but few of them are willing to do a simple set of exercises consistently over a period of time. You can plan and create success and happiness in your life by instilling habits that support you on the way to your goals. Information on how to connect with Marc directly will be shared at the end of this conversation today, as well as in the follow-up email to all the registrants. We're so happy to have you here with us, Marc. Thank you again for your time and
Thank
your
you for
loving energy.
your nice
Awesome.
intro. Thank you.
Ah, ah. Marc, we have been reading from several of your books in our group. We read every day, and today is day
Mm-hmm.
number 1263
Wow.
we are at.
Mm.
I absolutely love the simplicity of your books. They're very easy to read. The style of your books I find lovely. And the message that they share is beautiful as well. So thank you very much for writing them.
Thank you for
Uh,
reading them. Yeah.
ah,
Without my readers, I would be nothing. So I'm very happy to get also this feedback. And it was intentional. I wanted to write simple books because where I come from, after I was jobless, I did a life coach training and everything. And I noticed that in that time, long time ago, 8, 9 years ago, in Spain, people wanted to make everything complicated. And they talked in such a complicated way, probably to show their intelligence. But I got tired when I listened to them and I couldn't do the exercises that I should do because at the end, as you said, it's the exercises that will change our lives. So from the beginning, I said, I want to write simple books. And then I found my voice also. And of course, then when I get nice feedback like yours or from other readers, then I see, okay, I'm on the right way. I got like my niche there. Simple.
yeah, simple is good. Well, I feel like I know you a little bit. I feel your happiness, it's really lovely. And that's why I was really honored and thrilled that you said you would do this with us. Yes, small steps, consistency, persistence, perseverance, and developing positive habits will allow you to reach any goal. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, well, that's your words. Can you share with us a little bit about your journey, something that led you to this point in time that with this viewpoint?
Yeah, it's great that we talk now and not 8 years ago because now I can really tell you it works. Because 8 years ago, I was jobless and I had my coaching training done and I have heard about all these exercises and about writing down your goals and being grateful, but I never practiced it. And then when I was jobless, my most important excuse fell away. The excuse, I don't have time. And then I said, okay, now I have nothing to lose anymore. I had some savings, so I knew I will be good for 2 years. And I started just doing these exercises, and then I noticed a small improvements, right? And then I wrote the book. And when I was writing the book, I was still writing about experimenting, and it still took a while. So it's still, I think my success came, like big success came like the last 3 years. So it's also like, it's like a small improvement and it gets exponential. So you said it, I have now over 1 million readers. I calculated in there the 200,000 pirate copies because I have found 2 pages where there are 100,000 pirate downloads. So I count them too to make the numbers better. So on Amazon and internationally, I have 800,000 readers, but with the pirates, I have 1 million. And also like, also these numbers exploded in the last 2-3 years. And also as an author, same thing. Yeah. So I was an author, I was selling books, I was writing books, but like from 2015 to 2018 to 2019, it was moderate. And then 2020 was like my breakthrough year, probably also with the pandemic helped for us writers because people were just reading more. And that's it. But when I look back now, I can see it, you know, and I'm thankful to myself, to my former me, that I never gave up. Because when you look back, there were so many times where I was this close to give up, you know, and just say, okay, look for a job or, yeah. And there was something inside me that always said, like, one more try, come on, a little bit more. And that's also when we talk about purpose, right? There was this something in me that said, no, man, work a little more, do a little more, try a little harder and don't give up. And finally, when you nearly think, when will it ever happen? I think the first, when I forgot about when will it happen, that's when it happened. So when you just do your things, you have to know what you do every day, little goals, little things, and then with time, it will come. And so it's nice that now after 8 years, I can be an example sitting here talking about this very convincingly because my life has fulfilled it. And I come from nothing, you know. I was on $800 jobless welfare 8 years ago. So, and that means also if I can do it, everybody can do it, you know.
Yeah, I do know. I'm not on the same level you are by any means, but I'll tell you, you know, when you do make some breakthroughs, it proves to yourself that, you know, you can do it. You can do it. That's what I really like though about what you share is it's not anything extraordinary. It's really super duper small things. It's just doing them every day. Wow. Do you consider this a spiritual practice?
I don't know, because I considered myself before a very spiritual person. But I think I was too spiritual. So I had all the spiritual and always the action was missing. You know, everything was happening in my head. But in my day-to-day life, nothing was happening. I knew it all. You know, I could tell you everything about how great gratitude is. But my life changed when I sat down and wrote 3 things that I'm grateful for every day. And also not from one day to another, but from 1 year to another. So maybe it's a mix. I think we are all spiritual beings, but one without the other doesn't go. If you are just action oriented, you can come to a certain success, but you will never feel the happiness or the peace that you feel when you have a bigger purpose, when you're spiritual. And if it's all spiritual, then it's also difficult to get there. I mean, for me at least. So when you talk about the law of attraction or something, I believe in it, but I believe in it that you have to do something. That just sitting on the couch and manifesting, for me, it didn't work. Maybe there are some people it worked for. So I'm like the mixture. I think I have like a little bit, yeah, for everyone, right? So to say, okay, if you have manifested and you're not where you are, well, then try my method or try doing a little bit the habits and try writing down some goals and writing down all the good things you did in your life, because a lot of things, you know it, and that's why Love Yourself First is my favorite book now, nearly, because it's about self-love, and self-love is very important in days like today. I think many people are lacking it, and it's not selfish to love oneself. It's the opposite. The more we love ourselves, the more we can love others and bring good into the world. And that's another one of these things, right?
It is. It's well, you said a lot there. You said a lot there. There's a lot. I mean, I really feel like I could talk to you all day on this, and I know that I don't want to. First of all, let me ask, does anybody have any questions that they'd like to ask? Questions or comments that you'd like to ask, Marc? We have been reading your books, and honestly, what last year's cover, like I said, we're in our 4th year of conversations.
Fantastic.
And yeah, it's really a beautiful thing. It allows us to really deeply grow. Last year, our conversation was on living the law of attraction. And I'll tell you, we went over a myriad of different tools and tricks and different things that we can do to improve our lives. And at the end of last year, we realized that this conversation this year has to be geared more towards a little bit self-discipline, because we could think that till we're blue in the face, but unless we actually really do these little things, nothing's going to happen, which is why your books are important for this year's conversation. So no comments or anything other than a hello to Marc or any kind of anything? Any comments at all? So your books are
don't be shy.
Yeah. Well, I think your books are pretty straightforward, you know. Ginny.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Marc.
Hello.
I'm Ginny. I just got back from tennis. That's why I look like this. So I have a question. I think Jen was saying the other day in the readings that you deactivated your social media. Okay.
I had them deactivated. Now I'm back on, but I'm like always with 1.5 feet out again, because from I use it. I like to use it to be in contact with my readers, but for mostly it wastes my time. And I'm actually just on it because I can sell books with Facebook ads, and I'm not doing it yet. So in the moment where I decide I won't use Facebook ads for selling my books, I will be out of Facebook and Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn because I think LinkedIn is a very good social media professional, and it's not so gossipy and not such a big waste of time. I can also, it's about myself, about self-discipline. I can handle myself on LinkedIn. I cannot handle myself on Facebook or Instagram. Once you go in there, you know, and then you look up and 2 hours have gone, and
that's what I was going to say. I'm very addicted, and I've been on it for 13 years. I have this like fear of missing out on something. Somebody's, you know,
I can tell you, I was
engaged or something.
I know, I had the same thing. I was off Facebook from January 2021. Yeah, to 1 year. Best year of my life. I didn't miss anything. I had more time. I was happier because, you want it or not, there will always be something on Facebook that triggers you somehow. You know, somebody saying something that you don't like or something. And when this was away from my life, I was really a lot happier. So that's incredible. So
how do you get off? How do you just get off when you have other, like the conversations or?
I told them where I am. So I said, yeah, my email. And then, but nobody cares actually. So I have like 3,000 Facebook fans. Nobody cares. You know, you will be in touch with the same people that you're always in touch, because they will find a way to contact you. And the rest, you will have 5,000 Facebook friends less. But so I also in my relationships, I do quality over quantity. So my important people were still there, and all the distraction was gone. So that was fantastic.
Okay.
That's a
and you do it cold turkey. You do it cold turkey, but you can probably do a
cold turkey. Okay.
Cold turkey, but you can probably make your last. So of course, yeah, because I actually deactivated. So because I could say, yeah, okay, you can make a message like find me, but maybe a week before you can say, look guys, I'm leaving for a while, here is my contact, my email or something. But then you have to really leave, because many times there are people they're like, oh, I'm leaving social media, and then they never leave, and then people will say, okay.
Right. You can even just taking the app off of your phone helps a lot. So you have to go to the physical computer.
True.
Which I tried for a while because it's like constantly calling me. But I post a lot for our Zen stuff. So
exactly, professionally for you. You use it professionally. I don't use it professionally. I don't have a group and anything. So for me, it's really no problem at all. But then, everybody of us has a little bit of FOMO. I actually got back up on because I missed two readers groups and author groups, which are very important. And then I actually saw they wrote me messages, but of course you don't get the messages anymore. But now I have also their emails and everything. So I guess I could actually go again and enjoy the newfound time.
It does create time, no doubt about it. Thank you, Jenny. Kim, did you have a question or comment?
Yes, I do. Hi, Marc. I'm Kim.
Hello. Hi, Kim.
My question is, I'm in the midst of, I started a couple of good habits, okay? And in the back of my mind, like right now, it's really great because I have a lot of incentive and stuff like that. My fear is that it won't last. I won't be able to keep it up. How do you make habits last?
You're doing it. You're just doing it. Yeah, you keep them last. Don't forget about this little gremlin that tells you it won't last or whatever. They don't even have to last over. One of my great things that I found out, which I'm surely not the only one that find it out, but when I got aware of it, it's like, look, how does it normally work with habits? We get some good habits, we do them, and then we miss once, and then we say, oh God, I'm a loser, I knew it, I can do it, and then we stop doing it, right? Now see my approach. If you do something 4 times a week, you do your habit 4 times a week, it's 5, it's better, and then you miss 3 days, but you don't give up, you do it another 4 days and another 5 days. So in a year, you will have that thing, instead of having made 14 times and stopped, you will have done it over 250 times. That will make a difference in your life. So just, it's not a problem. You're not in competition. You're just doing it for you. And when you need to be, and that's also where the self-love comes in. Be very nice to you, Kim, because this will also, if you practice gratitude, I think this will also silence this voice, because gratitude is like an antidote to everything. And then just when you do something and then you fail, just talk to yourself like you would talk to your best friend. So imagine your best friend would tell you, oh yeah, I'm doing this habit, but now I didn't do it for 2 days. I'm such a failure. What would you do your friend? To say your friend, you would say, no, you're not. Start again. So we have to talk to ourselves like we would talk to our best friends, and don't worry. And if you miss a day or 2 or 3 or a week, no problem, you start again. So the great thing about habits is, because it has to do with our neuronal pathways in our brain. So when you're doing habits, you're building new ones, you're building new connections. So when you stop doing the habit, but then go back to it after time, it will be easier to pick it up again than when you did it the first time. So you're already winning, basically. You already have this advantage. And then it's not as I said, it's not a competition, you do it for you. And so I also have bad habits, because this is the life. Life is like this. So you do a lot of good habits, then when it goes very well, sometimes some bad habits sneak in. So my 30 days has 100 habits, 94 habits. I have done them all, not all of them all the time, because that's just impossible. But I always try to do 5 habits. And then comes a time, for example, my time management became so good that I could slip again in bad habits because I had so much time. And then you get bored and then you watch TV again, when I didn't watch TV for a year or so, right? So it's not a problem. It's like evolution. Sit down every now and then, think. Reflection is very important, and above all, be very nice to you. You have come a long way.
That is so right.
True.
That is so true. Goodness,
Thank you.
goodness. Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Kim. Thank you,
Yes,
Kim,
Kim.
because it's true and it's real. But yeah, that's yeah. Well, what if this doesn't last? Because I have that too in a bit, a bit of that background.
Yeah.
But I say, well, I'm the one making these decisions to
Yeah,
do it or not do it, so I can control this.
you got just do it every day a little bit. Do it. So, for example, I'm walking every day 10 to 15,000 steps, and I've done that now for a long time, over 2 years. And now I'm getting tired of it. So now it has become like something like I'm like a must, So I allow myself to not walk 10,000, to say, okay, twice a week I can walk 8,000. It's not a problem. It's still better. And it's still so many more steps than 5 years ago when I didn't count my steps and maybe walked 3,000 or 4,000 a day. So we go adapting because it has to be fun also.
For sure. Thank you. Thank you, Kim. Does anybody else have any comments or questions for Marc? Oh, okay. I've heard you say, Marc, that it's the doses that make the poison. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, too much of it, too much of something is bad. One drink is okay. 8 drinks is not okay, mostly. So the doses makes the poison. Coca-Cola, so Coca-Cola is my addiction. I try to not drink a lot of this sweet, sugary stuff, but every now and then I drink one. And still, if I drink 2 a week, the doses is a lot better than I would if I would drink 10 a week. And even with walking, so it goes both ways. If we overtrain, it's also not harming to us. Same harming that undertrain. So we have to find the balance. And of course, this goes for everything. Everybody has some negative thoughts, not a problem. We deal with them. But if I have only negative thoughts, then I have a problem.
Right. Which is actually the kind of the next question. We did talk about gratitude a little bit. I have power of gratitude in my notes that this is a science.
Yeah. Biggest discovery. I get goosebumps now that we talk about it. It was.
Yeah. Well, you said it's the easiest habit to commit to. And it's scientific.
It's the most powerful. It's scientifically proven. It's the most powerful. It's incredible. I wrote this little book because I said I have to write it. And there were many author friends who said, you don't write it. You can't write it. It has only 12,000 words. Your readers will be mad at you. They will think you BS them. I said, no, I have to write this book. But I can't write more than 12,000 words about gratitude because that's about it. I don't want to put a lot of stuff in there just to make the book thicker. So it's really the most magical thing ever. And we've heard a lot talk about gratitude. Everybody talks about gratitude. Oprah, Joe Vitale. And I always said, oh yeah, that sounds good. Great. But when I got this pen and I started, and I was in a very low point because it was when I was jobless. I said, okay, nothing to lose. I remember it was in November. I don't know exactly if it was the 7th or the 13th, November 2012 or 13, 12. And I wrote, I'm grateful for the coffee I had today. I'm grateful for the good work I did today. I'm grateful for my friends. And I feel the gratitude. And then I did this every day, and it took still a while until success came. But today I consider it as one of the most important ingredients to my success. The more grateful I became, the more happy I became, the more successful I became. And it's scientifically proven, the power of gratitude. So if you do it for 3-4 weeks, so you write down 3 things you're grateful for, and it doesn't have to be big things. I'm grateful for my house or for my fridge. You can even be grateful for your fridge, or I am grateful for my computer, or you can be grateful for your AC if you're in Florida and things like that, right? So, and you do it, and this will it will literally rewire your brain. You will see more of, because what our focus on, we see more of. So suddenly you will see all the things around you that you can be grateful, and so it multiplies, and it's just amazing. And then the scientific results of that are you sleep better, less prone to depression, more sociable, less headaches. So all the good things that if there was a pill, we would buy it right away. So you get all this from gratitude. And Robert Emmett wrote a book. He is the one who studied it scientifically, and it's called Gratitude Works. And it's very funny because I taught a class on happiness in a business school in Barcelona 5-6 years ago. And so the students, they always had to do their homework. In my class was only they had to resume the class, like 500 words, their takeaway, what was good about the class today. And they had to write down 3 things they are grateful for every day. And that was their homework. So they had to do it. And I told them, if you don't want to tell me, you write beep, but I want you to do the exercise. And then, of course, that was the happiest class of the business school afterwards. And it was really, there was one girl, I remember she was very shy, never like in class, she hid so that nobody talks to her. And then I read her homework, and after 3, 4, 5 weeks, it was exactly that. She wrote, I'm grateful that I have more friends now. I'm grateful that I sleep better. So all this, what Emmett said, this benefits of gratitude, I could see it in first person. And many times I also get email from people that really, they started with that. And there are people who got divorced after it and said, wow, I got out of an abusive relationship, or one guy wrote me some time ago, he was like really like living with his parents and a bad job he hated. And then he just said, okay, give it a shot with the gratitude. And within 1 year, now he shares a house with his best friends and found the love of his life. So it's fantastic. And this can really happen to everyone. And I always say, if gratitude doesn't work, then the only time I saw it not working is, or you don't put the emotion in it, which is very important. We know that the emotion of gratitude, we have to put it in it when we write it. And there was one lady, and she wrote, so was on a Zoom like with you guys, and I saw her face. I said, and it was like we hadn't seen for 3 weeks, and I said, when did you stop the gratitude exercise? And she was like, he got me. How the heck did he? I said, I can see it in your face. Your face is different. And then she told me, well, yeah, I stopped just after our last call. I said, what happened, right? Because I was a coach, so I can private detective ask, like, why, what happened? She said, yeah, well, it didn't work. And I was like, yeah, very strange, because normally it works. So tell me, what did you do? And she said, well, I wrote down, at least I have a house, at least my kids like me. And yeah, I see you nodding or shaking the head, because it's exactly that. No, it's not gratitude, at least. That's scarcity. And what happened to her? More scarcity, because it goes both ways. So we need to do our gratitude like, I am grateful for. And so somebody else wrote me, yeah, but I can't be grateful for the bad things that happened in my life. Yeah, and then we have to find out, because when I say I'm grateful for bad experience in my life, I feel grateful for that experience, and I have it in my mind decoded as, yes, thanks to that experience, I became a better person. But if you I can imagine if you only say, okay, I'm thankful for bad experience, and then think about this bad experience and how it hurt you and everything, then I can imagine it doesn't work. So what you connect with it in your mind is also very important, right? So
how you perceive it, how you perceive
how you perceive it. So if I say I'm happy for my ex-wife leaving me, I'm grateful. Yeah, I am grateful. I can feel the gratitude, because after that I became who I am, right? But if I would be mad at her, say, oh, I'm grateful, then it would do the opposite. I would get more and more miserable, because it's what I perceive what it represents for me in that moment when I'm grateful for. We don't have to make it so complicated. You can say, I'm grateful for my mother, my fridge, my coffee, but just in case, when you get to these things, know that, yeah, you can be grateful for bad experience in your life, but then it's like you are grateful for what they made you, not for the experience itself.
It's the focus of your energies, either the energy of the lack or so it's a lot
Exactly.
the language used.
Exactly. And the feelings,
Language used.
which the feelings you put into it. So to really feel the gratitude.
Let's see, we have 15 minutes. I'm gonna skip over a couple of these things. Let me ask you though.
Ask all. We can do an hour now when I already talked.
Well, does anybody have any questions before I continue on? Anybody else have anything? Because a couple new ladies came on. Comments or anything, just let me know. Yeah, so I just wanted to talk about for a moment happiness and maybe the effects of COVID and happiness, how that affected you. And then to kind of piggyback on that is, have you implemented any new habits to assist your mindset during COVID and or the current circumstances going on in surrounding countries?
Those are some very good questions, because COVID hit me harder than anything, and it was my expectations. Because from history, we knew that normally humans in crisis, we stick together. When there's a crisis, we become more solidarity and everything. And this time, it splitted us. So the division for me was like, I was like under shock of everything I saw. So for me, COVID, was different. I didn't think it. So for on the one hand, I already lived my life the way that I would have learned from COVID, like appreciate every work, be thankful for every walk you do, be grateful for your work. I spent lots of time with my loved ones. I'm not overworked. So when COVID started, I was like, wow, great. Many people get the chance to be with the family. You know, many fathers will actually have like 6 or 9 weeks, 9 or 6 or 3 months with their kids, which is something that they will miss later if they don't do it. But then it got like his own dynamic, and I wasn't happy with it anymore. So at the end, what I learned of COVID is that I have to, and it's the same thing like always, there are things we can influence and there are things we can change. And I have become a victim in that, because I felt that my government is doing too much. You know, they're doing things. In Spain, we were 6 weeks, we were like locked up. We couldn't go out. I was on my boat, I couldn't go out. Police was there standing with machine guns. And like, no, this is not the world I want to live in, right? But then from this, you can learn. I said, okay, what can I influence? I can influence my closest friends, my family, and be of support for them. So that was one of the learning points. But it's something, COVID only catalyzed it more, because there was a lot of division in the world already. And now there's more. But then again, we are spiritual people, so for me, it's always a sign when I see something in the outside world to look at me and say, ooh, if I meet division everywhere, I have to look within me. Maybe I'm divided, or what is there? What do I have to learn from this situation? And it's an ongoing work. It's an ongoing work. So,
it is. Yeah, it totally is. And you're right. It's there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on for sure.
For me, the problem with COVID was my core values. When we talk about values, which are the things that fuel you. For me, my core values are independence, freedom, and traveling. They took it all away. The most important for me, they took it away, and it was very difficult to deal with for me, and then it was in the same time when I finally got rich. So finally, after long of years of suffering, every year in New Year's Eve, I make a plan for the year, and I always wrote down my goals, and I always knew I will have half of them. And then I wrote down all the places that I will travel, maybe that I want to travel, maybe 8 places, and I know, okay, you can go to 2, because money will be enough for 2, and the other 6 you have to do. And then in 2020, I remember as it was yesterday, January 2020, I was sitting there, I had my list, I said, wow, this year I can travel to all the places I want to travel, because I finally made a lot of money on Amazon. And 2 months later, everything was closed, and I'm like, oh. So that's a little bit egoistic, but it's in the context of my core values. So I understand now why it hit me so hard, because my 3 core values, if those were not my core values, if my core values were solidarity, loneliness, then COVID would have been amazing for me, because it would have covered my core values.
Right. It's very interesting. It's very
Yeah.
interesting. I do value a little bit of that solidarity, and I found it a bit refreshing that nobody is going, I can't go anywhere and nobody can come over. And it was really pretty cool.
I noticed this in traveling, because nobody traveled anymore. So you always had like 2-3 seats next to you when you traveled. The few of us, I did some travel, so it was fantastic. It was the best traveling. Airports was empty. And now I travel and I'm like, oh, these airports are too full. The airports are too full. I don't know. Yeah, because now everybody wants to travel again. And it's a lot of traffic everywhere. Yeah. And planes are late again, like half an hour or an hour, while during the COVID pandemic, you were always on time. No plane was late, right? So, yeah. So little bit by little bit, I mean, we have to learn what we can. Now there's another catastrophe around the corner with the war and inflation and all this. And you know what? When I think I never understood when I think some word Jesus Christ said, I can't now remember it, but also Buddha or everybody said, when you are in peace, everything around you can crumble and you will be still in peace. And it's the first time I understood it, because I'm when we have in mind what's happening, which is like dramatic, I'm pretty centered and pretty calm, because I know what can I do and what do I have to accept. And I feel also I'm prepared. I did everything I can do to be prepared. And then it's like, just, we have to ride it out, do the best we can, be nice to our neighbors. You know, again, it comes down. Now I'm concentrating here on my street, on my neighbors, on my family. And if we all do this, then the world will be fine. And it's the only thing we have to do. You know, we only have to keep our microcosm okay, because it will be contagious to all the other people. That's how you change the world.
Yeah. Do you have a meditation practice?
Yeah, but I do guided meditation. So I listen to meditation and then I fall asleep. So there are 2 schools. One school says, if you fall asleep, it doesn't work. And the other school says, no, when you fall asleep, it's great because it goes directly to the subconscious. So of course, I believe in the second school. Yeah, but that's my meditation. So I've a couple of times, so before going to sleep, I do a meditation, and sometimes in the afternoon also when I do a little power nap, also with a guided meditation.
I'm a fan of guided meditations. Actually, I offer them, and you're certainly welcome to come to one at any time if you'd like to.
Fantastic.
Can you talk a little bit about patience then on this?
Patience? Oh, I don't know if I can talk about patience, because I'm not a very patient person, even if I seem like it. So patience is a thing I have to work on. So it works. So sometimes, for example, but it's good that you ask, because now I can repeat how I could work with patience. So for example, a supermarket. If you ever see me in a supermarket, never line up behind me, because it will always be the line that takes longest. I have this gift to always, but now.
Thank you, Kim. Kim's got to go to work. Thank you so much for coming by.
Bye-bye. So now when you are in a line, instead of saying, being all impatient, so I can meditate or do the Ho'oponopono or something, or do my gratitude exercise. So that's one thing. But from naturally, I'm not a very patient person.
Well, because from when we decide that we want to do something, and from when it comes to fruition, there's a big time period.
Oh, there I'm patient. That's fine. So now you opened another thing for me. Exactly. I'm not patient in everyday life. So in a restaurant, food better comes quickly, or no long lines. But yes, I had a godly patience on this way of 7 or 8 years to go from jobless to earning quite good money on Amazon. Because probably because of belief and because I knew I have to be patient. It's very easy.
So it's you know it's going to happen, so you're really not that worried about it. You know it's just keep doing it, just keep putting that foot. Wow, that's the thing that gets me is the simplicity of all this. This is practicing.
It's not only possible; it's a condition. You need to be patient. The only thing that can happen to you on the way is that you give up too early. So then you have only these two options, and then you have to be patient. When I go to a restaurant and it takes too long with the food, I can go to another restaurant and get my food there. But on my way, on my life journey, I can't be. There's like only two options: give up or be patient. So then I have to be patient.
And it's just doing it. So practice it for 30 days and what happens?
Yeah, and then for another 30 days and another 30 days and another 30 days. I have to say, so 30 days is a marketing title. So I had this book about it. So when I finished the manuscript, I didn't have a title for the book. And then I had like a list with 20 or 25 possible titles and subtitles. And then I was on Ibiza, wonderful meal with my best friend in a wonderful restaurant, great views. And I went to wash my hands. And then it came to my 30 days. It came to my mind, right? And I said, oh, 30 days, very good title because I would say 70% of the habits that are in the book, you can automize in 30 days. Because they say habits, to create a habit, it takes between 21 and until 188 days or whatever. So, but I think, first of all, it depends on the person and the habit. So the easy habits you can have in 5 or 6 days. The tough habits like getting up at 6 and go running for 10 kilometers or 10 miles, that will be a habit that will take very long until you automize it. But 30 days was a great title, but it was that. And then the subtitle was Change Your Habits, Change Your Life. And the message is really, so it's not like you read the book in 30 days, the world is in order. So no, it's just, no, in 30 days, you have a couple of habits and then you do them over and over and over again. It doesn't stop. So that's also the thing. You don't stop anymore. That's why it doesn't matter how many days it is until it's a habit, because you decide for a behavior that you want to implement and that will make you better. So you just do it and you hopefully never stop again, or maybe you stop and then you start it again. But that's the important thing.
What I realize is I'm just 5 years into my healing journey, but as you allow yourself to get to that level, say you do practice it for 30 days, you will notice a change in your life. And then the thing is, if we could continue it, we kind of get to different levels that we would never even be able to experience or comprehend unless we go and allow ourselves to get there. So it's pretty fascinating. And then I think this is your latest book, the Why Me Here Now.
Yeah.
That's your latest book, How to Stop Feeling Lost, Find Your Purpose, and Live a Meaningful Life. Is this, we want to say a little bit, this is about our purpose. Do you want to say a little bit about this book?
Yeah, I actually think this is my best book, my most honest book, because of course you always, also as a writer, you improve with every, and I got open up with every more book. And it's very close to my heart because I was lost for 40 years. It was for me, the biggest challenge was always, what's the purpose? Why am I here? What am I doing here? And I found my purpose some years ago, and it's fantastic. And then I said, okay, let's write a book about it so I can share my experience and maybe help people find their purpose, because who better to write about the many books about purpose? Why not a guy who was lost for 40 years, right? It's another perspective. And I also made a pretty cool discovery. And I did it when I was teaching the class, because there was also one class about purpose, because we always like, we're looking for the purpose. And then that's how I started the book. What if you already know your purpose and you just don't have the courage to live it? Because that was exactly what happened to me when I asked myself the question, what am I here for? What do I do here? The first time when I was 21, 22 years old, I said to myself, I want to write books, I want to inspire people, I want to speak. And then the same little gremlin said to me, who are you to do that? No, you better, you are 22 years old, nobody will listen to you, you better go study economy now and forget about this stuff. And then when I was 40, jobless, and had time again to think about it, and I asked myself the same questions again, and I got the same answer. So that was mind-boggling for me. So that's why I came up and said, maybe we all know our purpose all along, and we just don't listen, or we are too scared to take the call, or whatever our inner critic is too big. No, and so I was so happy that I did it. And look what I'm doing now. I'm writing books. I'm inspiring people, that at least my lovely readers tell me. And every now and then I do a speaking in front of crowds. It's amazing. And now I have to look for new goals and a new purpose, because it's funny. Nobody tells you, everybody tells you what to do, how to become successful, how to get your goals, how to find your purpose. But once you get there, it's pretty strange, because you worked for this all the time and suddenly you got it, and like, okay, and now what's next, right? And I'm in this now since, of course, also with COVID, unfortunately, it happened at the same time. So I'm like, ooh, so I'm thinking again about, okay, what's next, right? What is my next purpose? I know that already giving back is something for my purpose, so I'm doing that, but what's next, right? And yeah, it's exciting, and as I said in the beginning, I think my purpose pushed me through when I was close to give up, because there was something still, that, no, I want to try it. I want this. Come on, keep on a little. And what a great phrase that always helped me is from Thomas Edison. I think the best way to succeed is just try one more time, or something like that. And I thought so much of his phrase, of the proverb, like, okay, one more time, come on, one more time. And if you try one more time for 50 times, I tell you, sooner or later it will work. Then I can tell you again, yeah.
And that's totally what I love so much is again, I'm going back to the simplicity of it. It's like the things are not hard. They're not, it's not much of anything. It's just doing it. It's just
small stuff, and be very nice to yourself. Be your best buddy. You are in this alone. And if you don't treat yourself nice, and if you don't believe in you, then the others won't. If you do, you don't need the others to believe in you, because then it doesn't matter. And then, believe me, when you become successful, they will all come and say, we knew it. We knew it all the way that you're gonna make it, right?
Right,
so,
right,
yeah,
right.
Yeah. But
the
you are
feedback.
The one. Yeah.
Feedback is very important, though. When your readers tell you stuff, I would say
absolutely. That's why I'm also happy to jump with you on the Zoom today.
Oh, yes.
So because I really appreciate it, and I appreciate all the emails I get. And of course, I can tell you, you wrote such a nice email that it was difficult to say no to you, right? When somebody writes something,
I'm just
some
being
nice
honest,
words to you, yeah. When somebody writes nice, it's so easy, Somebody writes nice words to you, it's difficult to say no,
Thank you. It's a technique. It's an art to writing an email, isn't it? Because I want to relay some emotion and love and energy to you. Does anybody have any questions or comments before we ask Marc to say his final words? Are we good? Awesome. Marc, what do you want to leave us with? What's the thought?
Just do it. So if you can do anything, if you put in the work, and if you take one thing, if you want to start with one thing today, the gratitude exercise, I just warmly recommend it, because it's the one that will make a lot of difference. It's like a catalyst for everything else. You call it catalyst, right? It makes everything else easier. Gratitude, because you will become more optimistic, happier, all these good ingredients. And that's it. If a guy from Germany who speaks English like I do can do it, from jobless to living basically my dream life, everybody can do it. We have to know what is our dream life. So there's a lot of soul searching to be done, and I am doing it since 8 years, more than in the 40 years before, but it had great fruits, and it's fantastic. The better you know yourself, the better everything gets.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. I just want to let you know in the chat box, we have a lot of people saying thank you so much. Grateful for your time today.
Thank you.
Very inspiring, motivating. Thank you, Marc. Thank you. And we have somebody that's with their baby, grandbaby, so they can't chat, but thank you, thank you, thank you. Seen a lot of thank yous.
Thank you guys.
I wanted to give, if you want to work with Marc directly, you can contact his homepage at Marc Reklau. It's Marc with a C, M-A-R-C, and it's Reklau, REKLAU.com. You'll also find a free PDF download on that site with worksheets to get you started on your way. You can also connect with Marc on right now, Instagram.
Right now it's still Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Limited time offer.
The best is email. I really love my emails because I'm old school and I can answer them when I want. Usually like within 48 hours I answer. And yeah.
Yep. I will also I'll send all his information in a follow-up email along with the link to this replay. Marc, thank you again so very much for sharing so openly. We're grateful for your time and your loving energy.
Thank you. Grateful for some of the questions you made because they got something going. Because the COVID thing really, I thought I should have, with all my knowledge, I should have been able to deal with it a lot better, and it really got to me sometimes. So because we have all the tools. And it's, again,
we're being tested.
Gratitude, meditation, those are the things that bring us through these tough
There's a lot,
times.
though. There's so many things, too.
No, it's like, everything in the past century, we got it now within 2 years. You know, we got a pandemic, a war, inflation, recession, whatever. But we have to be, we get through it. We'll pull through one way or another.
Endurance.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you all for coming. And we'll see you next time. Please visit zenfulconversations.com and sign up for more of these wonderful conversations. Marc, in gratitude.
Thank you.
Namaste, everyone. Namaste.
Bye-bye.
Bye.